Welcome once again to another of Book Lovers Book Haul videos. These are 20 books that I picked up yesterday, September 26th, on a fun Saturday. Went to 3 bookstores. I bought 17 books in one store. They were half price. 2 books in another store that were also half price. And 1 book in the last store of the day, which wasn't half price and really overpriced. I would have ended up leaving with 5 to 10 books easy. But the prices were not good, and so I will have to keep searching. Speaking of which, here's a book, The Searchers. This is, of course, a famous movie with John Wayne. I have this book, but it was in such great condition, half off, and I figured it's nice to have an extra reading copy. So, got that one. The Scout. This I have in hardcover, and I have the paperback. This is part 2 to Rules by Harry Combs. That was the first book of the series. This second book is pretty good. It's not as good as the first. It is worth reading if you read the first, which really I think was just about brilliant. There are some things that are wrong with it that I would change, but overall, in terms of like powerful effect on the reader and staying in your mind afterwards, and being like emotionally affecting the reader, I thought that book really succeeded well. And then the main character kind of gets a little bit goofy in this book, which holds it back from being a classic like the first one. But still, I thought it was good. The paperback version I have doesn't have this inside part here, so I figured I'd get that one because it's a little bit different. Excuse me, I need to get some water. Okay, Apache Autumn. This book I recently found in hardcover. Very cheap. I think it was like a couple of dollars if I remember right. That was in a few videos ago that I had shown that one. So I saw this in paperback. Spine's a little bit bent, but for a reading copy, it's in otherwise good shape. So pick that up. That's convenient to bring instead of reading the hardcover when I go out, which is where I do most of my reading on my commute. Rabbit Boss. This book, I didn't see the cover. I just saw the title on the shelf like this, and I thought, what is that? I had no idea there would be an Indian on the cover, and my wife looked it up on her phone, had some good reviews, so I figured it was only $1, and it's pretty thick. It's a little bit stained at the top. Doesn't really go onto the pages, though. If I like it, I could always look for a better copy, but for $1, I thought this is a good deal. See if I like it. Looked a little, looked interesting. So, I hope I get to read that. This book here, I actually had this book many years ago and got rid of it, and a few others from this same series, which I've been repurchasing now when I see them. This one will definitely only be a reading copy, not a copy to save, because it is someone had like a sticker on here that when it came off, it ruined the cover a little bit. But otherwise, the book is fine. Certainly, at half price, good enough for reading. So I hope that one's good. I don't know. Bill Dugan's not his real name. It's obviously a pen name. I looked that up one time, and so like the cover anyway. Hopefully it's good. Bent Red Moon. This book, I didn't know anything about it, but I looked in the front cover, actually, the first page of the book, and there was a quote. I'm not sure. I guess it's a quote from someone in the book, but I'm not sure yet. But it said, "It ain't what a man don't know that makes him a fool, but what he does know that ain't so." And me being not religious, that just struck me as really a great quote. I'll read it again. "It ain't what a man don't know that makes him a fool, but what he does know that ain't so." So I thought that was kind of cool, and half off of this, it was $3. It was in really good shape, so got that one. Death on the Prairie by Paul Wellman. This is a paperback, obviously, of a history book. I had the actual soft cover. It might have been hardcover at one time, but I had from one of the university presses, a larger version of this in soft cover, which I gotten rid of many years ago in a move. I picked up some books that I just it was foolishly now, but I thought, I didn't really need those. and so now if I ever see those, I need to get them. So this was I think it was 50 cents, and I like the cover, so got that. Wayne Overholser, Proud Journey. I read this as a kid. Thought it was a good book. Again, something I don't have anymore, but seeing it again, I remembered it and I wanted to get it. I thought that was a good book when I was a kid, and we'll see if it holds up to memory. Same as this one, Right into Danger. Wayne Overholser. Hopefully it lives up to memory. Summer of the Sioux. Again, Wayne Overholser. He has a son, Steven, that also writes. This book was a little bit messed up, the spine. I had to tape it, but it was very cheap. It was cost me $0.25. So I figured if it's good for $0.25, I could always get a better copy someday if I like it. Tim Champlin, I recently got a book by him that's about fighting against Geronimo, hunting down Geronimo. I haven't read it yet. Got good reviews, so hopefully it's good. I saw this one here, Trail to Wounded Knee, so I figured I'd get it. Here's an older book that he's written called Summer of the Sioux, so it was again kind of cheap, so I figured I'd get that one. Adobe Walls. This is a fictional account, somewhat based on Victorio, Apache chief, so I figured I'd get it. It's a little bit messed up. Spine, creased and all, but for a reading copy, it's fine. These Thousand Hills by A.B. Guthrie. Guthrie wrote The Big Sky, one of the best books I've ever read, and I think one of the best books ever written. I have this book with a different cover, so I like to get different covers, so pick that up. Ulson, Arrow in the Sun. This became the movie Soldier Blue. This is a newer printing, in pretty good shape, so I picked that up. Here's looks like an older version of the same book, a different cover. Theodore Ulson again, sometimes just called TV Ulson. So I got that. And then I found the reprint from when the movie was made, and they changed the name of the book in the movie to Soldier Blue. It's got a picture from the movie on the back, so it's a little bit stained. It was $4. This was at the store I only bought one book from at the end of the day. The store has a lot of books, but they're really dirty, they're overpriced, and I mean, many of them are horribly overpriced, double, triple, and quadruple any reasonable price. It's like he doesn't want to sell the books. I would have easily walked out of there, 5 to 10 books, but those prices were just horrible. $4, I mean, that sounds so much, but that's just this one book. Imagine if I wanted to buy paperbacks. It's just too much money, especially when they're old and stained, and some of the hardcovers were just in the stratosphere. It didn't make any sense, the prices. Blood Brother, Elliot Arnold. This, of course, was a movie. I have this book, the same copy, but mine's, the one I have was also used, and it was a little bit more beat up. This one, it was really in immaculate shape, just about. And the original price on it was $1.25. I got it half off, so it was only, at best 60-something cents. And for this shape, that was really good. Find that on eBay, and you'd be paying a hefty sum. Winter of the Sioux. This book it was beat up a bit. Put in the book bag. Put some tape on it where needed. Robert Steelman, White Man with the Sioux Indians. I don't really know if it's good or not, but it was cheap enough, and I figured, well, I'll add it to my collection. And Fugitives Canyon by Hal G. Evarts. I actually have this book, same one. It's got 10 short stories in it. I like the cover. I'm hoping that it's good, so now I have 2 copies, a reading copy and a copy to save. So that was it. Fun day. 20 books. And see you next time. Bye-bye.